The name's Lens. To the lens. Greetings, sir, if this may concern. Christian Aguilar here, back with another movie review. And in today's movie review, I'm going to be reviewing the next movie in the Daniel Craig James Bond films, Spectre. Now, I know it's been some time since I've done a movie review, and I have seen a handful of films that I need to review for this channel. Like, I've seen Dune, I've seen Last Night in Soho, and I've seen No Time to Die, and I need to review all of those for the channel. So I will get to those respectfully, but for now I'm going to be reviewing 2015 Spectre. Spectre came out in 2015, and it stars Léa Seydoux, Christoph Waltz, Ralph Fiennes, Naomi Harris, Ben Whishaw, Monica Bellucci, Dave Bautista, Andrew Scott, and of course our main man of the hour, Daniel Craig as James Bond. And this is the second Bond film that was directed by Sam Mendes, his first one previously being Skyfall. So when it came time for his second go at a Bond film, it had some hype to live up to, because Skyfall just blew everyone's expectations, and it was a really good Bond film. People, even today, even when No Time to Die came out, people still say Skyfall is probably the best out of the Bond films. It's like that and Casino Royale are like neck and neck with each other, but a lot of people, if you ask them, will probably say Skyfall. Same thing goes for its theme song. People say Adele's Skyfall is one of the best Bond themes, you know? So when Spectre came around, it had to live up to the hype, man. And the question today is, did it really live up to the hype? Now, I know with the vast majority of people, this movie didn't really settle well with them. However, when it came to me personally, I enjoyed this film. I'm going to be honest with you. I quite enjoyed myself with this film. Of course, I remember going to the theaters and seeing this, and I had an absolute blast, because I remember my parents and I were doing this Day of the Dead walk, and this, like, I think 5K run/walk, and it was around October of 2015, so a month before the movie came out, and there was advertisement at the Day of the Dead run for the movie Spectre, because of the great set piece that the opening of this movie has, is the Day of the Dead parade in Mexico City. So I thought it was really cool that they were advertising that at the Day of the Dead marathon. At the time, I didn't know that there was going to be a whole Day of the Dead sequence in the movie, so that was really intriguing going into it for me. And with the movie opening up with the text saying the dead are alive, it just like set a tone for me that was like, oh crap, things are probably going to get heavy in this movie. And to follow that up, what comes after is this one long, beautiful tracking shot of the entire parade in Mexico City. And I've mentioned this before in my Skyfall review, that Sam Mendes loves these one takes, these long one takes. And I also think that this is a pretty badass disguise that Bond has ever worn in a Bond movie. Personally, it's pretty cool to see him with like the skull mask, the top hat, and the cane, and the suit to match the Day of the Dead theme. It's just an awesome look, and I kind of wish he did a little more fighting in that getup, but it's all right. You know, it's just, you know, he's supposed to be undercover. But I do love how it seems like there's no cutting in the tracking shot. Like, it takes us from street level all the way up to the top of a building, with Bond trying to take out his target from across the way. I just love this opening sequence, and for me personally, it's neck and neck with the Casino Royale opening. They're both really, really good in their own right, and I personally can't really tell you which opening I like better, because they are both really entertaining. Of course, the cinematography is really good. I feel like Bond films, especially the Daniel Craig ones, never lack in the cinematography department, because there's a lot of shots that look really beautiful and across all these films, and that's really, really awesome to see in a movie, of course. The performances are spot on. Again, there's no weak performances at all, which is really enjoyable. I mean, a weak performance can really make or break a film, you know, if they're really stand out, they're really annoying, you know, but the Bond films are always well casted, you know, they take their time to cast them pretty well. And I feel like everyone has a decent amount of screen time. And I do like how a lot of these films know how to mix comedy and drama together well. They know when to make you laugh, and they know when to make it feel dark and make it feel heavy. They don't overlap each other too much, and I think that's a perfect balance for a spy action thriller. I will say, with this being the first Bond movie in a while without Judi Dench's presence in the movie, I will say it is a big loss. Like, if you feel that loss of the previous M, and I really like how they kind of balance it out by bringing out Moneypenny and bringing out Q and bringing back the classic M, with Ralph Fiennes. These are great actors that they got. Ralph Fiennes, Naomi Harris, and Ben Winshaw. These are great actors, and they fill these roles pretty nicely, I think. They really make them their own, and they really make them stand out. They are great allies to Bond. These three really make up for the lack of presence of Judi Dench. And of course, I love how they pay homage to her. I like how I wonder if they're gonna do that into the next iteration of Bond. It may just stop at No Time to Die, but I like how there's little references and like the shots that pay homage to Judi Dench's M, and I thought that was really cool and a real nice touch to the film, of course. Now, when it comes to the Bond villain, I was really excited to know that Christoph Waltz was going to be the next Bond villain for this movie, because of course I've seen Inglourious Bastards, I've seen Django Unchained, and I was just super excited to see him in a Bond villain role. I know Blofeld is an iconic Bond villain, and I know it's pretty controversial what they did with the character of Blofeld and Bond, kind of like making them brothers. I remember I saw this back in the theaters, and it's been a while since I saw it until I rewatched it again to review it for my channel. And I realized, for the longest time, I was under the impression that they were blood brothers. However, when rewatching it, I realized that they're not blood brothers. So honestly, me rewatching it, because at first when I was under the impression that they were related by blood, I thought, okay, that was kind of weak and kind of lazy to kind of like throw in like, oh, by the way, I'm your brother, haha. It's like kind of like a lazy twist. I personally felt. However, to go back and rewatch it and figure out that they were brothers from like adoption, because Blofeld's father took Bond in after Bond's parents passed away. So with him being like a stepbrother, like an adoptive brother to him, I can understand the animosity, and I can understand them being so damn different. They're not related by blood. However, they have that connection there because, his father took him in, and he took a liking to Bond over his actual blood relative son, So yeah, of course, Blofeld will be really pissed off about that. And I kind of like that personal connection that they have with this iteration of Bond and Blofeld. I personally, if I know a lot of people out there will probably disagree, but after rewatching it and figure out that he's not related to him by blood, I thought it was a good dynamic to have between Bond and a villain. I thought it was really clever. And of course, Christoph Waltz's performance is really awesome in this movie. You feel the intimidation. You feel like this guy, his presence is like an oracle. He sees all, and it's pretty damn cool to see him get like his iconic features, like the scar across the eye. And he even has a cat that Bond even says hello to, which is a clever homage to Pussy Galore. He, when the cat jumps on his lap and he says hello, pussy. That's just like an awesome homage. Of course, the fight scenes were really awesome. The train fight scene with him and Dave Bautista is just crazy. It's brutal. And I like how Léa Seydoux' character as a Bond girl is not afraid to get rough and tough. Like, she gets slapped around in this movie. Like, Bautista like backhands her, and like she gets thrown, in this train fight scene. And it's just really awesome to see her take some punches, because she can definitely give them when she needs to. And it just makes you root for the character that much more. You're like, oh, fuck, you see them get beaten down, and for them to come up, and save the day, that's just awesome to see. So I really like how they added that to the character of Madeline. It really makes her stand out among the Bond girls. I hardly have any negatives when it comes to this movie. However, if I have to nitpick and really have to think about something, I think there's certain shots in the car chase scene between Daniel Craig and Bautista. There's some shots where it's on Bautista driving, and it just looks CGI. For one, it looks very dark, very underlit and kind of underexposed, just a little bit. But I think that's because they're trying to hide the fact that wasn't Bautista driving the car, of course. They was probably stunt drivers. But it just looked like a CGI Bautista. And it went by pretty fast, so I could have missaw it. But from what it looked pretty animated. And I'm like, ooh, that looks kind of off. And it kind of took me out of the scene a little bit, because I knew who was in what car, But other than that, I really don't have major issues with this film. This film is really fun. And with that being said, I got to give this a solid 4 out of 5 Skarsgårds. So that is it for today. Thank you so much for reaching to the end of this video. I will be reviewing No Time to Die. That is the next movie on my Daniel Craig James Bond list. I will be probably reviewing the earlier James Bond films. If I get around to them, maybe I'll backtrack. So maybe the next batch of films I'll do is Pierce Brosnan's James Bond films, which is pretty cool because I haven't seen any of them for a very long time. Especially Tomorrow Never Dies and Die Another Day. I had those on DVD when I was younger. So those would be fun to go back to specifically because I'm going to have some nostalgia trips for sure. So that'll be fun to go back and review Pierce Brosnan's James Bond film. So I might just do that sometime in the near future. Every Thursday night and Sunday night, The Rendered Image, a show I co-host with my good friends Tyler and Shannon. It is a show where we toss our opinions back and forth on all the latest movie news, updates, and trailers. Check out the show with the link down below in the description. Or to make it a little easier for you, you can click on the top right hand corner of the screen. It'll take you right to the channel. Please like, share, and subscribe to support this little side hobby I am doing. I hope you're all safe and well out there, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.